Hi, I'm Amena, aka Amenakin. I'm from Leicester, UK.
I'm Ruby Golani and I'm from Sydney, Australia.
And welcome to
How I Wear It.
In today's look, I was inspired by the makeup of the late 1920s. Apart from the smoky eye, the key part to this makeup were the lips. Whilst the earlier part of the 1920s saw popular lip colours such as red and maroon, as we moved towards the latter part of the decade, beautiful shades like raspberry came to the forefront. This is why the art stick in bright raspberry was perfect. Not only did it lend its colour, but also because of its art stick form, I was able to draw that classic 1920s lip shape. I began by placing a light coloured long wear eyeshadow all over the lid up until just under the eyebrows. After buffing in a warm nude colour into the crease of the eye, generously extending above and below it, I filled in the rest of the eyelid with a brown metallic shadow. I then took the 24 karat long wear eyeshadow stick and formed a thin line by my lashes in the centre of the top lid and also in the inner corner of the eye. I emphasised that highlight further by dabbing over the top with a champagne coloured shimmery eyeshadow. There were key areas on the eyes that I wanted to darken with the silver brown sparkle eyeshadow. This was under the lower lash line, in the outer corner of the eye, and also the inner part of the crease. I further defined the eyes by placing a black coffee colour in the upper and lower waterline. I took the black gel liner and formed a very thin line along my upper lash line. I deepened that black and also smudged it out ever so slightly with a black eyeshadow, making sure not to extend past the outer corner of the eye. After curling my lashes and applying a few coats of mascara to my top and bottom eyelashes, I moved on to defining my eyebrows. Now, the classic 1920s eyebrows comprised of very thin, dark eyebrows. My eyebrows are definitely not very thin, so I decided to focus on darkening them at key points. Those 2 points were the upper part of the arch to define that further, and also the tail of the eyebrow. Moving on to foundation, I used the Skin Foundation, ensuring that it was concentrated in the central part of my face and blending it out with my foundation brush. Also, I made sure to blend over my lips, muting out the colour as much as I could. By this point, I could see which parts of the face needed further concealing, so I took a peach colour corrector and neutralised those areas under my eyes and around my mouth. Since we weren't going to be adding a lot of colour to the face, it was important that the skin was flawless. It's important to set concealers and correctors, and so I dusted over the top of those areas with some powder. Now it was time to add some colour to those pale lips. I started off by drawing a guide for myself onto the lips using the art stick. I drew 2 circles on my cupid's bow, extending ever so slightly past the natural outline. With the corresponding area on the lower lip, I drew a semicircle, again extending ever so slightly outside of the natural lip. Now that the guide was in place, I began to colour in the lip. As I moved out, I made sure to keep very slightly within the natural outline of my lip, and then stopped filling in that colour a couple of millimetres off the edge of the corner of my mouth, thus making those parts look smaller. To make the lips more distinct and to stop the raspberry colour from bleeding out, I took the corrector again and drew around the lips outside of the raspberry colour, including the outer corner of the lips, and then set that with some powder. Finish off by taking some shimmer brick highlighter and applying it to the top of the cheekbones above the cupid's bow, and then defining with some bronzer. And that's it! That completed my late 1920s inspired makeup. I hope you enjoyed watching this episode of How I Wear It. If you did, give it a thumbs up down there and leave us a comment. You can also subscribe to the I Love Makeup YouTube channel by clicking on that subscribe button up there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Toodles!